Here I have these two data frames, one called DF and one called DF info. And let me show you what DF looks like first. So this is our stock index data frame. And if we look at what are the different objects inside of the name column, so one way to get that is I can say, in this name series, okay, just show me the unique values. Okay, I'm using this unique method here. And here they are. Really the only one I have memorized, I think, is that this NYA stands for New York Stock Exchange. And some of them, like especially this one, it's pretty much impossible to get meaning out of that. So I have this other data frame called DF info. Let me show you that. And here it has that same column value that was called name in the other data frame. Here it's called index. Okay, it has these same things. For example, has this thing with these numbers followed by SS. But here it tells me like what's the actual full name of the exchange. Here it's Shanghai Stock Exchange. So what I'd really like to do is get the information from DF info into DF. And we did that once before, I think using map and using a pandas and using a Python dictionary. But here, let me show you maybe a more general way of doing that using what's called merge for two data frames. So here's how it works. I'm going to say df.merge. And so this is saying for that original data frame, okay, this much bigger data frame, I want to merge it with some information from this other data frame. And so first argument I need to give it is what's the other data frame to use. So in this case, it's df info. And then it looks pretty much equally good whether I leave this out or not, but often you have to specify this how for how to merge. And in this case, I'm going to say how equals left. So what this is saying, think of this outer data frame as the left data frame, and think of this inside the parentheses data frame as the right data frame. And so this is saying we're just going to use the values or the rows that occur in DF. Okay, in the left one, that's what this how equals left represents. And it would be nice if this name column was also the name column in the other data frame, but it's not. So I need to say, like, how are we going to look for matches in the left data frame in DF? And how are we going to look for matches in the right data frame? So this left on says, what's the matching column I'm supposed to use in DF? Okay, and this was called name, I believe. And for right on, okay, I need to say, what's the name of the column that I'm going to try to match in the right data frame in this DF info. And here, the name of that column is index. And so let's take a look at this and see how it looks. So it looks very similar to the original DF for now, but if we scroll over to the right, you can see that now it says, what's the exchange? Okay, it also duplicates this index. It says, what's the region for it and what's the currency? So this merge, this is one way to get information from one data frame and like add that into another data frame. And so like, let's look at DF again. Okay, and now if I scroll to the right, you can see that those columns have not shown up. And the hint that that was going to happen is that after I did this df.merge, it printed out this data frame. So that's often a sign that the original data frame that you're acting on is not getting changed. So one way I can fix that is I can say df equals. Okay, and now if I look at DF head, now it should have those extra columns on the right-hand side. And this like few seconds of slowness, I don't think that's because of Deep Node. I think that's because it really takes some time to go through the 100,000 rows or whatever it is of DF. So this was an introduction to merge. There's a similar method called join, but I haven't used join nearly as much as I've used merge. In the next video, I'm going to keep talking about merge, and I want to say a little more about this how keyword argument and how that works.